Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Got more complexity casting action here. HoN Tour Gold Lower Bracket Finals, the final game. If I could play music, I would play the final countdown by Europe because this is it, guys. This is game number 3 in this best of 3 series. The winner here is going to be advancing to tomorrow's grand finals to play the big boys. For all the money, they're going to the big leagues. They've already qualified for Diamond Division, but they want to go in with that 1,000 points. They want to go in with that first place $1,000 prize. You know they want it. You know they want it as well as I do, so we're going to get it done right here, right now. Coldcast, Druidz versus Pencils, game number 3. Getting into the banning pick phase here. Locking phase comes before banning pick in my dreams. But Ophelia, Tempest, Tremble, and Fade being banned out. Tremble being banned for the 3rd time in these series today. So somebody really just does not like Tremble being used, and that is in fact going to be Pencils that really just wants to get that hero on lock. So bans him out. Ophelia, Tempest, and Fade being banned as well. Hellborn team saying, nope, you're not getting Fade. We just ran Fade and decimated you with it. So we're not going to be giving it out to you this time as they do not have first pick anymore, which is what they did first pick last time. So, going into the lock-picking stage, we do have Suicides coming out first. First up from Pew was Plague Rider. Going to follow that one up with Keeper of the Forest and Bubbles. So already 3 Suicides on the board. Pablo McDad saying, I see the value in Suicides as well. Now, going back into it, we have a couple supports coming out. Engineer as well as a Luna to add themselves into the lock pool, courtesy of Pew. And rounding it out, it's going to be Warbeast, so not going to be able to be banned this time. Will instead make it into the lock pool. Will Pencils go for that one? And will DrDz let him have it? Because if DrDz goes for the first pick of, say, this Keeper of the Forest, they're going to be giving up the Warbeast. And if they go for that, they're going to be giving up Plague Rider as well, if that's what they choose to go for. So DrDz, they kind of are in a sticky situation. There's a lot of first pick worthy heroes in that lock pool, but let's get into the ban, see what they don't want getting into this game. We have Wild Soul, Pebbles, and Tundra being banned out by Pew. So as usual, Wild Soul does not make it in. Of course, nobody wants to see that hero making it in, and will be banned out right away. So interesting. Pebbles and Tundra, a couple of strength initiators, are in fact removed from the pool. On the other side, Pencils wants to remove Magnus, Moon Queen, and DrDz. Moon Queen and DrDz, of course, showing that they are very, very well used by the Druidz lineup. And Zintz in that first game, what was he, like 9-0-13 or something on Magnus at the end of that game? But he was very, very strong, so he gets banned out as well. First pick going out was Pew, bringing up the Demented Shaman. And as we so often say with Demented Shaman, he lends himself very well to a lot of these very strong pushing strategies paired up with somebody like a Balfagor or like a Zephyr. But on the other side, well, Zephyr's not going to be making it in because he is going to be playing for Pencils. Zephyr teaming up with Torture, and already right there, that's a lot of push. That's the first thing that strikes me with those 2 first picks is Pencils has a lot of push, and neither of these teams are too afraid to cheese if they need to, and Pencils, they will cheese their way out of this last game if they need to, and doing it with the bird is something that you might expect. So with those 2, they already have a lot of late game potential, but they also have the push, so they're going to be looking to finish up with some supports and probably some initiations throughout the rest of this. I would expect them to grab an initiator here with this 3rd pick before going in for maybe either a jungle or a suicide plus support out of the lock pool. We'll see what Pencils does do. Picks number 4 and 5 come out, and it's Glacius and Dark Lady. So already we see a couple of supports plus the Dark Lady. Now, seeing Dark Lady picked in the same team as Demented Shaman is kind of strange to me. As I already pointed out, Demented Shaman's that hero that you see sometimes in combination with the Zephyr, with a Balfagor in a strong pushing composition. Unfortunately, he doesn't go super well with a hard carry. I mean, he's able to provide the negative armor, he's able to provide the healing, but his lockdown potential is not as great as some other heroes like, say, an Andromeda that can pair with a hard carry a little bit better, but he, of course, does solo very well as well. So we'll see if that Demented Shaman gets into the solo capacity as we see some players like Swindlebalance play sometimes. Wretched Hag is the final standard pick out of Pencils, as they do pick that one up. Fundsmeister or Sweet Pro going to be playing that once again, a hero that they've shown quite the affinity for recently. Keeper of the Forest makes it out first in the lock pool, so they've given up the War Beast if Pencils does want to take it. Now, what the Pencils team is doing, they do take the War Beast here. What the Druidz team did, they tried to build a team that was going to be able to counter the War Beast somewhat. The anti-push potential of the Dark Lady and the ability of the Dark Lady to be one of the few carries that in the late game really can contend with a War Beast head up. So they did build that, and they're going to try to design their team around that. We'll see if it does end up working or not, as the teams do finish up. Warbeast and Bubbles are the final picks here for the Pencils team. And so they do go with a support Torture. Now, this is something I do not like. I will tell you guys this right here, right now. I do not like support heroes. I think that Torture is an amazing hero. I also think that he needs a lot of farm and he needs levels in order to be awesome. And with him being relegated to the support role, I do not like it one bit. I feel that they needed to get that War Beast, and they needed to get a Suicide, because you don't want to have to Suicide your Hag. But I really would have preferred that they pick up somebody like that Engineer or that Aluna from the pool instead of that Bubbles. And then you would send the Engineer or the Aluna with your Zephyr. You would short lane solo your Torture. You would Suicide the Hag and then jungle your War Beast. I think that would have been a better lane up. But they go with the Bubbles instead. Pablo McDad maybe just a little bit more comfortable with that hero. Although I've seen Pablo play the Wretched Hag plenty of times in that Suicide role. But like I said, not an ideal Suicide hero when compared with maybe, say, that Bubbles. So I can also see why they wanted to get that one, but I still think they made a mistake there. On the other side of things, the Druidz team rounds out with the Keeper of the Forest and then the Plague Rider. So they've got pretty standard lanes here. Most likely will be the Demented Shaman going Suicide mid, going to be bringing the Dark Lady Glacius into the bottom lane. And of course, Plague Rider going Suicide with Keeper of the Forest in the jungle. You can already see Keeper of the Forest picking up the Logger's Hatchet, so we'll see if that is in fact what he's going to do. But Torture plus Zephyr, that's going to be the lane here, and then it's going to be Sweet Pro playing Wretched Hag in middle. And then, of course, the Suicide Bubbles. So that's going to be the lane up. So let's talk about them just a little bit. Demented Shaman going to be going up against Zephyr and Wretched Hag. DS, he really excels in consistent damage type lanes. He doesn't necessarily do the best against burst damage, and especially not against stun-heavy positioning, anti-positioning lanes like this Zephyr Torture. With the Agonizing Bonds, with the Chain Reaction and the Gust, I think that Zintz is really going to have a hard time in this lane. I think he's going to have a very, very hard time down there, and I think that Dark Lady is going to have a fantastic time in this bottom lane. Bubbles going up against the Dark Lady is going to be very, very rough. The Glacius is going to buy Dark Lady, say, level 3, and maybe a Life Tube. And not actually buy him a Life Tube, of course, just stay there long enough so that Dark Lady can get free farm to get those items. And then Glacius is probably going to go roam into the middle lane, try to support his Demented Shaman and try to even up the farm there, because at that point, Dark Lady should still be able to get all the CS and shouldn't be in a little bit of a bad position and should not be taking too much damage. Plague Rider does head up top. He's going to be doing the Suicide thing, going up against short lane Zephyr. What? No. Okay, so Torture, what? Okay, so they are going to go short lane Zephyr with Torture at top. Now, the advantage of this is that they should be able to buy better farm on the Torture. Excuse me, on the Hag. The Hag would have had a pretty hard time on short lane solo against this Plague Rider. Now, against the Demented Shaman mid, he will have a little bit better of a time, and he doesn't stand as much of a chance of being ganked as, say, that Zephyr or the Torture if they were there by themselves, if the other one was doing any kind of roaming or anything like that. So I don't know if I like this or not, and they will in fact just rotate the Hag up there. They're going to be sending the Zephyr mid. So I'm not sure what exactly tipped them off on that. They were using the Hellhounds a little bit to do some scouting. So yeah, Wretched Hag does make his way up into the top lane, so now it's going to be the lanes that I was talking about. Bubbles does make his way over and is able to get the Ward of Sight down. Likewise for the Plague Rider. And Keeper of the Forest, able to get his animated trees into position, will be able to maybe move this lane around just a bit, and Warbeast able to do the same with his Hellhounds, buying himself a little bit better lane position for his buddy down there. So players are getting very, very good at being able to do that consistently, making sure that their suicides get the best lane position possible, and that's what these Wild Soul, Warbeast, and Keeper of the Forest heroes with the level 1 minions, they excel at. It's very, very nice to have them on your team simply for that reason, because you're able to get the lane position. And then, of course, all three of those heroes do very well at pushing, and all three of those heroes do very well going into the late game, especially the Wild Soul and the Warbeast. Take a look here, bottom lane. Pablo McDad buys somewhat aggressively in this lane, as he does go for the, well, he's actually going to take a Ice Imprisonment, and Glacius might be in a little bit of trouble here. Auto attacks go out, Shell Surf not going to connect. If that Shell Surf had hit, Glacius probably would have died. So Pablo McDad already doing better down here than he probably should have been. But with the aggressive Mark of the Novice here, and the Guardian Ring, he's able to take less damage, and he's able to trade more effectively against the Glacius. So able to buy himself a little bit more of that early experience, which he really does want to have. If he's able to get to level 2 and 3, maybe by the time that Glacius leaves the lane, then he's going to do a lot better against the Dark Lady than he would otherwise. Sven doing his suicide thing up top, grabs his Ring of the Teacher, and, well, Wretched Hag, she should do okay up here, but really she should lose this lane. Which is why I don't necessarily like this matchup, as in the bottom lane, Glacius is trying to go onto Bubbles once more, but Bubbles does get pretty good lane position here, and as a result, able to hit level 2. He's getting a last hit here or there, 0 and 1. So, maybe not here or there, but maybe just here. So yeah, I don't like that Torture, or that Hag up there. I think I would have preferred maybe Torture to be up there being babysat, or maybe the Zephyr up there with his babysitter perhaps. But you also don't want to put 2 against Plague ever, because Plague, as long as he's not dumb, he's going to be able to just get the denies off. He's going to be able to do what he needs to do, and he's going to be able to get some experience, and putting a second player there is almost never a good idea. So it's just kind of a rough situation. Your Hag has to do the best that she can, but she should lose this lane. Not bad. Not bad, but should lose this lane. Now, interesting to note that there are a lot of heroes on this Elborn team. It's actually in the middle lane. Demented Shaman's getting caught on right here. The Impalement's there, and Demented Shaman does go down. Zephyr's taking a lot of counterfire damage from the tower, but that's what I'm talking about right there. The Impalement actually doing a lot of damage to not going with Agonizing Bonds, but you hit the Gust onto that Demented Shaman, and then combined with that chain reaction, he just takes so much damage. And even though he has a point in his cape, in the Unbreakable, is that right it is? Yeah. Unbreakable, and one in his heal, he's just not able to survive that. So I do like their lanes in the middle here. Pencils doing a good job of being able to shut down this Demented Shaman for the most part. Demented Shaman should be very, very afraid getting on into this game. Whenever Torture is in the lane, Demented Shaman should be afraid that he's going to die. And even once the Zephyr hits level 6, he should be afraid that he's going to die, even if Torture is not there. So we'll see when Torture does hit level, excuse me, Zephyr does hit level 6. Taking a look at the gold per minute here. Dark Lady, of course, as you would expect, is farming extremely well here in the bottom lane. She is currently 29 and 13. Fabelli just showing us that he knows how to carry. Is in the top lane. Wretched Hag taking a lot of pressure. One more Contagion nuke would finish her off. Unfortunately for Plague Rider, he does not have one available for another 15 seconds until that Extinguish cooldown does come up. Oh, Hasted Torture going to be coming up here. Bassett wants to land something. Blink up from Hag. And where's the chain reaction? Chain reaction goes down, and down goes Plague Rider. So great roaming right there from Bassett. So Supporter already doing work. A couple of assists, one kill and one assist, as Demented Shaman's putting out a lot of harassment. Nice job using that level 2 Entangle. Normal build for a Demented Shaman is level 3 Entangle first. You want to get that big stun. Of course, it's a not insignificant amount of damage. It's like 40-something odd damage. 28 damage. Right? 21 damage. As actually Bubbles is in for trouble in the bottom lane. Down he goes. Dark Lady with those Ghost Marchers able to get the dive going on. But there you go. 21 damage per second on that Demented Shaman if he does apply that Entangle. So it's 140 damage in addition to the slow at relatively low cooldown. And in that bottom lane, Dark Lady up to 403 gold per minute. DrDz, their carry player, is kind of out of control. Glacius, he uses the freeze onto Torture right now. Chain reaction goes out. Tree is there as well. They're going to apply the auto attacks. The impalement's going off as well. And the auto attacks might be enough to take out Torture. But no, a nice potion right there. And Torture will be able to escape. Extremely well played there by Bassett. And this player just continues to impress me no matter what hero he's on. I remember watching him back in It's Gosu when he was playing things like the Magmus pretty often. But he's just such an impressive player, and I really do like him here. As Gust comes in, Chain Reaction's going to land the Impalement. Not going to be using it just yet. A nice juke right there from Zlint, and it looks like he's going to be okay for now. Puts up the cape, and Torture going for the Chain Reaction. Another nice juke, though, and Zlint will be able to survive. Bassett's taking a lot of counter damage, and he's going to have to use his potion relatively soon, as he does not actually have a potion, and will have to go to town. So great job there from Zlint. This is another one of the players that's actually just very impressive as Plague Rider goes down. Wretched Hag, will she be able to blink out of there in time? The Thunder Blast has already gone out 2 seconds, and Wretched Hag does blink on up. She's still not out of the woods yet. She does not have another blink available for about another 15 seconds. She's going to need to blink over here and just run for her life. But nice Tundra Blast right there. Fabunko not giving up. These two guys, Fabelli and Fabunko, they're just very much so impressing me today, as well as Zintz. I mean, looking so good in most of the games that he's been playing today. So very impressed indeed. Zephyr perhaps going for a little bit of dive here, as he does have that Helm of the Black Legion. But no. No, not going to be going for too much of a dive there, as Demented Shaman does just fall back. As we even saw right there, Torture is saying, well played, Eric. So these teams certainly know each other a little bit. And will the Gust come in? The chain reactions are available. The Gust, as they're actually going to try to turn it around. Ice Imprisonment goes out. Chain reaction onto Glacius. Torture in some trouble, though. He's going to turn it around. The Typhoon goes out. He's consuming some, but no, it's not going to be enough. They get the kill onto Zephyr. Chain reaction onto Glacius, but Glacius gets the Ice Imprisonment off. And double tap now for Zlint, as he's able to pick up 2. And now they're going to turn their attention toward this middle tower. So very well played there by the Druidz team. Up 500 gold and 1,000 experience. 8 minutes into the game. Even though this kill score is tied, of course, that 400 gold per minute Dark Lady is looking very good. Demented Shaman sitting only about 200 gold per minute, but level 7, and that's certainly very important for Demented Shaman, is to get those nice early levels. And Zephyr is coming in here to the middle lane. Warbeast is here as well, finished up his Abyssal Skull, and one TP going to be coming in. Will Keeper of the Force drop the Root right here? Root does go down. Demented Shaman does get the last hit right there, and will be trying to get out of there. The Shell Surf Chain Reaction Kelp Field, and down goes Plague Rider. Tree will be able to escape. No boots required, but 5 players there for the Hellborn team, and they do not defend the tower, but they get a couple of kills. Looks like they might get a tower of their own. So an eye for an eye. Glyph of Fortification being activated there, but don't know that they're going to be able to save that one. The Hellborn team does not have any TPs available. Even if they had any on them, they simply do not have the cooldowns available. So they're going to be going for 2 here in the middle lane, knowing that they need to be trading because the tower down here is going to be going down in favor of the Legion team. And right there, Pew gets the last hit on the tree. A deep ward coming in there from Bassett, wants to get information on who's going to be coming where so that his team knows if they're safe or not. But as soon as they see the cold buddies there, Glacius and Plague Rider, they in fact do fall back. Something interesting there that I just constantly think of Plague Rider as being cold. I don't know whether that's because of Lich in Dota was like a cold type hero, or because of this Frost Rider avatar that he has. But I don't even think about him being like plagued, venomous, toxic thing anymore. I just think of him being cold. It's kind of strange. Typhoon goes down on top of a triple stacked Ancients over here as double damage Zephyr will clean those up. And with that, Zephyr propels himself up to 323 gold per minute. But look at that, 370 gold per minute right now on Fine. You just give this War Beast an inch and he takes a mile. Up to 372 gold per minute, 1-0 and 2, and hits level 9. So looking very, very good. Currently the top level in the game at level 9. And even though Dark Lady's farming very well at 450 gold per minute, the Hag, War Beast, and Zephyr are all farming well on the other side. Fabelli is kind of carrying his team though, as War Beast is on the other side, but Keeper of the Forest, he's doing well himself at 1,500 gold. We'll see what he goes for here, as looking for a portal key. No, it's a Shield of the 5 actually. So Pew's going for Plated Greaves, and with his invis self right now, might be dropping a Root here momentarily, going to get up there, and Root does come in. Where's the follow-up though? Chain Reaction goes down. The Plague Ultimate's there. Bat Blast going to be going out, trying to return the damage, and Hag's going to have to back up. Shell Surf goes out. Demented Shaman is going to take a fall. Keeper of the Forest might be in some trouble. He's hugging that tree. In comes the Sonar Scream, and down goes one. Will they be able to get the last hit onto Plague Rider? There he goes, and just like that, Pencils looking fantastic in this game. 3,500 experience and 3,000 gold lead. So looking very, very good. Their players are looking strong. Nearly 400 gold per minute on Warbeast, 350 on Zephyr, and 350 on Wretched Hag. Make that 2 towers down, and they're going to be making their way toward the bottom tower relatively soon. I don't know what the response is here from Druidz. Oh, actually, a disconnect coming out there from Full Bunko. So we're going to need to have a pause. Maybe not, actually, as he's just walking back to town. And he does come back in. They go for a pause, but I think it'll be go immediately. And indeed it is.
Let's get it on.
On the other side of things, Supporter seems to be working out pretty damn well for Bassett's. He is 4-1-1, and although I said that I vehemently disagreed with this choice, you may be proving me wrong. I'm not saying I've never played a Supporter before in a pub, get swindled in some swindle draft or something like that. But I would never do it of my own volition, but Bassett's showing that he's quite comfortable with it. He's able to get the farm that he needs, 200 gold per minute right now, just sitting on red boots as well as a couple of minor totems, but I feel like he just bought something because he should not be that poor with this much tower gold being infused into him. So we'll see if he does get some upgraded boots delivered, or maybe a bracer, as I can't click on this courier. Does go for some wards as well as a power supply. So interesting. He actually does not have as much money as I thought he would at 13 minutes into this game. I thought he would have been able to complete some boots with 4 kills, but he's also been doing quite a bit of warding. I mean, you look at the amount of rev wards and standard wards that are down here. Technically, on to Flensmeister, he has to fall back. He's going to be taking that 21 damage per second. Pretty impressive amount of damage. Dark Lady's farm has started to taper off just a bit as they've stationed a player or two in his lane, making sure that he's not completely free farming. Flensmeister with those Ghost Marchers, and now I believe he just picked up a... Was it him that just picked up a Mighty Blade? No, it is in fact going to be Sweet Pro on Wretched Hag. So as we've seen out of this Pencils team, they like to go Shrunken Head first. And Bassets makes his way over to these single stacked Ancients, actually. And maybe wants to set something up. Sweet Pro going to make his way over as well. Does have Bat Blast available to him. And a little bit of counter wording there. Looks like Pablo McDad able to secure that one. Where's the chain reaction? In comes the Sonar Scream. There's the Bat Blast. The chain reaction not even needed. Give the Forest is going to be going down. And there it is. He even wastes the root. Demented Shaman in some trouble as well as the Gust comes out. Typhoon not doing enough damage. And Demented Shaman looks to be getting away for now. Where's the follow-up? Bubbles is going to be there in just a moment. Where's the Shell Surf? There it is! And, well, Cape goes out, and Bubbles is actually not going to be going down. Or, Demented Shaman not going to be going down just yet. Oh, War Beast, though, he says, not you, Plague Rider. Activates the Metamorphosis. Gust comes in, and down goes Plague Rider. Pencils. They are looking good, guys. In the bottom lane, Dark Lady does finish off her Rune Cleaver, but... the rest of her team is so struggling, and she's barely even out farming the War Beast and the Zephyr. When you have two people that are farming that well, and Wretched Hag still grossly out farming the rest of your team, you're in real bad position. And this Druidz team is. Flabelli, he's doing great down there. They've given him all the free farm that he could possibly ever want, but unfortunately, just it might not be enough. But then again, you can never count out Dark Lady. That's what you have to say. I mean, he is just one of those carries that, like a Draconis, you suffer throughout the game, you get your farm where you can, and then all of a sudden one team fight, and you're like, oh, well, he just two-shot two people, and then just manned up on that War Beast and killed the War Beast, and then we won the game. And you're like, oh, okay, well, that worked. So, we'll see. But War Beast on the other side, he's going to be looking pretty fearsome himself, working toward that Shrunken Head that his team so does favor. Zephyr kind of saving up some money right now. Doesn't want to spend it just yet. Wants to have a buyback available. Maybe even just not sure what he's going to be building just yet. As Dark Lady does come in, activates the Taint Soul, and Zephyr's in some trouble here. The Dark Blade's activated. Chain reaction going out, and Zephyr goes down. Zlintz gets the last hit there. So, unfortunate throw there from Flensmeister. Actually just... when he's over here in this position or so, he turned back around like he wanted to go back in for just a second, half a second, something like that, and he should not have done that. That unfortunately did put him in range of that Charging Strike's Taint Soul coming out from Dark Lady, and as a result, Flensmeister goes down. As a result of Flensmeister going down, so does the top tower, and just like that, DrDz maybe on their way back to a little bit of a comeback. Flabelli will start to work on some of these creeps. Going for the Ghost Marchers route instead of Steam Boots. Now, she's going to have a lot lower attack speed than you might normally have. As Warbeast is going to come in. He wants to finish off this tower. No, going to go for the Glacius and the Plague Rider. Kelpfield Shell Surf, Song of the Sea. The ultimate bouncing around between a couple of players. And, well, Warbeast is going to have to get out of there. Where's the Shrunken Head? Where's the Shrunken Head? Oh, not even going to be able to be using it, as the Wolves are going to attack the defensive tower. So the Wolves are able to attack this tower. That's interesting to note. As Shell Surf goes off, Bubbles will be able to get out of there for now. Has to activate that TP and will be able to get out of there. So I guess Wolves can attack while Warbeast is not there. I thought they had changed that some time ago. Maybe they changed it back, as to has been known to change some things around sometimes. And with a lot of the players simply unavailable, there's a lot of pressure being put onto the middle tower, as level 3, level 4 impalement actually coming out from Bassett's, putting out the pressure there. And Zephyr pushing down the top lane as well. Good job using the resource management here. Zephyr able to farm his opponent's Ancients. Wants to make sure that the triple stacked jungle, triple stacked Ancients, anything like that, that Dark Lady's going to need to really get up to that 600 GPM stage where she's going to need to be to out-carry everybody else on this other team. Wants to make sure that that's not going to happen, as Zephyr picks up a barrier idol. So he picks up the headdress and the barrier idol. That's where that 3,500 or so gold went. And So I need to think about this real quick. I don't disagree with it, okay? I don't necessarily like it either. I think that he needed to have that, especially since they're going to be going for a pushing strategy. I just wish that he didn't have to get it, because I like seeing Zephyrs with something like a Frostburn, something that makes them just a little bit scarier in these team fights, or maybe even something like a Soul's Bulwark into a Demonic. But when you have a War Beast, he's going to be going for the Soul's Bulwark, and you don't need to be getting something like Frostburn, because you have your Hag that's going to be able to blink after them and start doing a ton of damage. So he did need to get that if he was going to be going for that that push and for that tanky presence of the bird. But I just wish he didn't have to. But he certainly did need to, so that was a good choice. I just don't like it, because I like to see aggressive picks, not defensive picks. As Animated Trees will come in, and well, Warbeast, will he start to work on Kongor? Yes, he is going to get working on the big guy for now, and he needs to back up one of these wolves, but unfortunately did not choose to back one of them up, so he will get stunned quite a bit. Zephyr continuing to farm down the middle lane here, as Philbelly is farming up pretty aggressively in the jungle. He's picked up his Abyssal Skull, and I would not doubt that he's going to be making his way toward a Shrunken Head relatively soon. And a couple Portal Keys just picked up. Bubbles picks one up, as well as Keeper of the Forest, so both of them going to be able to get in there and drop their ultimates for initiation in any upcoming fights. Wretched Hag finishes up her Shrunken Head, and she's going to be able to stand tall inside of that Keeper ultimate, be able to get the Dispel going when she activates that Shrunken Head. And Kongor is going to go down. Warbeast's taking a ton of damage, actually. As a chain reaction has to go down, and Pablo McDad actually gets the last hit, but Warbeast picks up the token. So nice for him. Dark Lady in the top lane, though, has been putting some pressure onto that tower, but Flabelli will TP on out. Going to make his way toward the middle lane and clean up some creeps there. He is all the way up at 187 creeps 20 minutes into this game. I remember when I was still learning HoN, and a buddy of mine told me that a good farm on a carry type hero was 50 creep kills at 10 minutes and 125 creep kills at 20 minutes. And well, Dark Lady's at 187 or something, 194 now at 22 minutes. So I would say that's pretty good. Pretty good. Dark Lady continues to farm here now. The problem is that she's really the only threat on her team. She's got the support system around her in the form of Keeper of the Forest, able to drop the root. She's got the Plague Rider, able to put up the Plague Rider ultimate. She's got the Demented Shaman that's able to use a push and use a root, which, speaking of which, he went for a level 4 root, and I really do disagree with that. That's a terrible skill to have. Could have 3 points in his cape instead. Or even stats. Either one. You know what? Actually, having a point unspent is better than having 4 points into that route. So I cannot even tell you guys how much I disagree with him having that, but I think we've all done it. Sometimes you just accidentally put it in there. Warbeast perhaps going to be going in for a kill onto Plague Rider. No, just saying, I am not afraid of you, Plague Rider. Going to be content to aggressively farm with that Token of Life. But Demented Shaman, he's starting to farm decently himself, getting close to 300 gold per minute as he picks up a Blessed Orb. And with that Blessed Orb, I would expect that he's going to be going for a Sheep Stick. Although I suppose Frostwolf Skull is a possibility. But I think it's going to be a Sheep. Nullstone just doesn't seem very likely. Geometer's Bane, of course, extremely unlikely. And Dark Lady's going to be able to finish up her Shrunken Head with that creep kill. Now that that catapult is gone, her chance to finish up her Shrunken Head is completely gone forever. Forever! Now she finishes up the Shrunken Head on the next creep wave, and will she TP back to town? I think she might want to get one more creep wave, try to start a big push, but nope. Will in fact be... No, okay, she is going to go for the next creep wave because she's not going to be able to get to that tower in time. They will have to let this tower drop, and she wants to try to trade a tower here. She does not have her Shrunken Head yet, though, so she needs to be careful using that Charging Strikes. And now that the Shrunken Head is being delivered, she can TP down as soon as the defensive tower is gone because, well, there's a lot of pressure going to be put on the defensive tower here as TPs are going to be coming in. Where is the initiation here? Who's going to be going on who first? As there's white snow everywhere, and I hate white snow. Shell Surf's going to be coming out. Cleans up a couple of people right there. Stormcloud goes out, and immediately the Helmborn team chooses to retreat. They do not want to have to fight with that Stormcloud on top of them. And the Legion team, they equalize the tower score right there using the minions from Keeper of the Forest or something. They were able to get the kill onto the tower up there, so very, very well done. Stormcloud's dissipated, and they're going to be going in for round 2 here. Creeps as well as Warbeast bring down that tower so fast. Well, there's the initiation. In comes the Root. The Root's going to be able to catch one. Bat Blast being used, but nobody really being hit. Plague Ultimate bouncing around in there. Shellsurf, Song of the Sea going to be coming in, and well, Bat Blast is going to be coming back out on the other side. Typhoon being activated. Nobody down just yet. Token of Life brings Warbeast back up. Down goes Plague Rider, but Warbeast going to have to be retreating. And, well, will Glacius be going down to the back? No, Glacius is going to survive for now. Down goes the Demented Shaman. He buys back immediately. Going to be trying to get back in there. Warbeast has been working on the melee racks, and the melee racks will go down here in just a second. There they go. Gust going to be coming back in, and down goes Glacius. Keeper of the Forest in some trouble. Dark Lady going to be working on Wretched Hag, and Wretched Hag goes down. Then comes the Shell Surf, Song of the Sea. Dark Lady in some serious trouble. Push Stick being used by Demented Shaman, and will he be going back in? No! Demented Shaman will be able to get back in there, and well, Dark Lady looks like she wants to go in this time. The Root goes out onto Bubbles, but Bubbles uses the take cover, dodges the stun, and will be able to get out of there altogether, though. A huge fight for the Legion team, trading the token and Hag. They actually did they have to buy back? No, nobody had to buy back. Okay, so they just TP'd back there. Using the token plus Hag, they got the racks, they killed 3 people, they forced a buyback onto Demented Shaman. A fantastic fight. They actually forced a buyback onto Keeper of the Forest as well. I did not notice that, so extremely, extremely well done there by the Druidz team. Very well done indeed. You know what was not well done? That. A 9-second Shrunken Head being used by Warbeast to clean up these triple stacked Ancients. You gotta be really afraid of their magic damage. Soul's Bulwark has already been finished up here on the Warbeast. As Torture needs to be kind of careful. He's really far up there. And, okay, so he won't back off. Soul's Bulwark has been finished up, though, and he's only about 400 off of finishing up that Demonic Breastplate. Hag picks up a Blessed Orb, so she's going to be working toward that Sheepstick, I would expect. Banking 600 right now, so still quite a ways away. Bobble McNadd working on his Hellflower as a Frostburn is finished up now on Zephyr, so I like that pickup quite a bit. I think I had already mentioned that one, in fact. And Dark Lady finishes up some Rift Shards. So that is what she needs to do. They are essentially all in on this Dark Lady. They're down 13,000 golden experience, and they really, really need to get in there, and they need to be able to get kills exceptionally fast. So will they be able to? Who knows? That Rift Shards, though, is going to be very important in level 1. Once he gets that up to level 4, activate those Dark Blades. He could be one-shotting some heroes like the Torture or the Bubbles. Not necessarily one-shotting, but pretty damn close, that's for sure. So I do like that pickup. As Hellflower is finished up on Bubbles, if they're able to get the jump onto somebody like that Dark Lady with his Hellflower activated, then the Shrunken Head will be of no avail. The Cover of Darkness will not be used. Nothing along those lines. And, well, the Legion team could be in for a very bad time. Zephyr level 16. Now, that's one thing that it seems like they're kind of low level, but they're only 28 minutes into the game as well. And having 3 players, essentially level 16, 4 players that are getting close to level 16 here, pretty important. And Torture, he's getting very, very close to finishing up. Oh, Root's going to be coming in right now. Chain Reaction going down. Bat Blast going to be hitting a couple of players. Plague Ultimate. The Kelfield's going to be going down, and it looks like everybody's going to be taking a lot of damage right now. Zephyr dies first, and Glacius is going to be going down as well. Dark Lady trying to get out of there, but no! Sonar Scream brings him down. 3 going down right there, and a quad kill coming out for Sweet Pro. The Annihilation not going to be available as Pew is just going to be walking on out of there, and with 4 players down, 1 buyback available here on Dimension Shaman. The double damage War Beast is just going to massacre these towers, and that could very well do it, guys. Druids look fantastic in series number 1 and in game number 1 of this series. They looked great, but unfortunately, they just could not withstand the might of Pencils. GG, well played. You coming up to vote to concede passes, and that is it, guys. Congratulations to Pencils. They take the series 2-1 and will be advancing on into the grand finals tomorrow against the big boys. And so, guys, what a series it was. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today. I do really appreciate you guys being here and watching the gold finals, and I hope that you all turn in for the grand finals tomorrow. Myself and Levon will be casting that. But, guys, that is it. That's going to be Colecast coverage for the day. Don't go anywhere, though, because, well, I got a couple things to say. Of course, first and foremost, a shout-out to all of you watching. Secondly, shout-out to S2 Games for making HoN Tour a possibility and allowing me to cast. And, of course, to Complexity Gaming as well for allowing Colecast to happen. You can make sure to check out Complexity Gaming at complexitygaming.com, facebook.com/complexitygaming, and Twitter at ComplexityLive. While you're over there at Twitter, check me out at BeefPotPie1. And make sure to give us a follow here at twitch.tv/complexityhon. Check out our info section below for all the easy social media links that I just talked about. Also, bios for each of our players, as well as the organization and easy social media links for the players as well. And of course, VODs. You can check out the VOD section by clicking on Tournament VODs below. And that'll take you over to youtube.com/BeefPotPie1, where I've got over 50 series that we've cast here on Colecast, all lined up in playlist format for you guys to watch. So while there's no more HoN going on tonight, no more Colecast going on today, you can get all caught up, see what's been going on in the Gold League and HoN Tour, in Scrims, in Sound Blaster Heroes League. Check all that out tonight, and of course, make sure to subscribe over there. But guys, that does it for today. We're going to be going and taking a break until tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. PST, that is 12 p.m. EST, and 1800 Central European Time. We're going to have the big boys taking on Pencils in a best-of-5 finals. Big boys up 1-0 in that series, coming from the winner's bracket. I hope that you all be there to join me. One final big shout out to the Complexity sponsors: Sound Blaster, Origin, QPad, PNY, G8 Brand, and Twitch. Guys, that's it. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I've been your casting host, Beef. I'll catch you guys next time.